What's Up, What Eats What, Jim? And joined by Jason the Millennial. Go Chiefs. And we're going to be discussing our top 5 songs and albums of 1974. 50 years ago. So it makes sense to go in and talk about this. It's not one of my favourite years of music, but there still are some great albums and songs in this year.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's kind of a weak year.
It's not as good as 73 or 75. It's in the middle of both those big years of music.
Yeah. Because this is the third year we've done this.
Yeah. Next year we'll do 75.
Yep.
I think at some point on my own I'm going to do my top 5 albums and songs for 1970 and 71.
Okay.
That'd be quite hard to come down to top 5 for both of them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so many good albums of those 2 years.
But I found that actually quite difficult for 74 as well. There was quite a few I wanted to get in, but didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I'm curious if we got some of the same ones or not.
So should we start off with songs first, then move on to albums?
We can do that.
Yeah. Do we do honorable mentions now, or do that once we've done our top 5?
A lot of times lately we've been doing like after number 2, then we do honorable mentions, then number 1.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with that.
Okay, I was like, that's what me and Nick usually do now.
Yeah, but for anyone watching, please comment either in this chat or in the comment section your favorite songs and albums of 1974 and any general thoughts on that year for music. But yeah just take it away with your number 5.
My number 5. All right, number 5 is This Old Guitar by John Denver. Comes off of his Back Home Again album. One of my all-time favorite John Denver songs. Definitely top 10 for me, for him. Always loved the song. It's so cool. It's a song just about his guitar and how, what it's done for him. It's taught him to, I love the lyrics of, this old guitar taught me to write a love song. Such a cool lyric, and it taught me how to laugh, how to cry. It's something. If you're a guitar player, your guitar is very, there's an emotional attachment to your guitar because you write your songs on it if you're a songwriter and you play songs on it. And yeah, I love that he's writing about his guitar, and it's such a good song. And John Denver's vocals, amazing. Like some of his best vocals, I think. It's such a cool. I love John Denver and his folk writing, so it's a great song from John Denver.
Got comments from Richard. Hey, Richard. My mouse has been a bit slow today. Come on, show. There we go. Yeah, I know what his favorite album is.
Oh, really?
That's David Bowie's Diamond Dogs.
Okay.
Which I've actually reviewed on my channel with Briar.
Oh, okay.
So I'll get to my number 5, which it's my favorite song by this band, and I recently been getting into this band, and it's called Soon, and it's by Yes.
Okay.
But it's part of the song The Gates of Delirium, but the Soon section of it, which concluded the song, was also made into a single. And that's what I've included. I think it's fantastic. It's got fantastic vocals from John Anderson, which in my opinion is a bit of an underrated vocalist. I love the whole production of the song, and all the lyrics and just everything about the song I love. So I'm not sure if you've heard that album, the Relayer.
Relayer, yeah. I haven't heard that one. I've heard like one Yes album, and I really didn't like it. And I don't get the feeling that they're my kind of band, but
yeah, Sweet Home Alabama I wanted that to be my top 5, but that didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I've never been to Alabama either.
So yeah,
All right,
that's number 5.
all right. So my number 4 is "Already Gone" by the Eagles off the On the Border album. Yeah, again, one of my favorite Eagles songs. I mean, huge hit for them, but super catchy song and that chorus. And I love the Eagles, one of my favorite bands of all time. I love their harmonies, you know, the "Already Gone," that whole chorus. And I'm feeling strong, or something like that. And I'll sing my victory song. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I love that. Just a great chorus, but really just a overall great catchy song. Great guitar playing as well. Yeah, it's a top 10 like Eagles song, so it's got to be in here.
I'll get to my number 4, which is from John Denver, from the Back Home Again album. This is my favorite song from that album, but I've not chosen the sole guitar. I chose the song Matthew,
Ah, good song.
which is one of my favorite John
Yes,
Denver songs.
yes.
I think it's been an underrated song of his.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it was released as a single
I
or
don't know.
not. I don't think it was. But I love the storytelling of this one, the
Mhm.
guitar playing and the vocals. Yeah, I think it's all around just a fantastic song. It's quite an uplifting sounding song as well.
Yeah, it mentions Kansas in it too.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I like. It talks about the Kansas wheat fields, I think, or sky or something like that. Oh, Kansas skies, I think. It's the blue Kansas skies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew's like his uncle who comes to work on the farm in Kansas or something. Yeah, I
Hmm.
love
Right. So top 3. Or is it your top 3?
it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, I'm going with another John Denver song. This is my favorite song off of Back Home Again, and that's Annie's song. Yeah, one of the greatest love songs ever written. Um, one of his biggest hits. And yeah, I grew up listening to John Denver. My parents are huge John Denver fans, and my parents, they've been married 49 years. And when they got married in 1975, they got married outside in a park in Wichita, Kansas. And they played some John Denver music at their wedding. And my mom kind of walked down the aisle, so to say, to Annie's song. So it was definitely an important song to my parents. Um, and yeah, I just love the lyrics of, you know, you fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like a spring, something springtime. And he's just, I love the idea that he just, because John Denver loves the outside. He loves the, you know, Colorado Rocky Mountains, you know, he loves all that. And so he's, you know, he's outside and he's like all, you know, the outside, you know, beauty of the, you know, nature, you know, just filling up his senses. And then he compares that to his love for his wife, Annie, and that she also fills up his senses. And he compares the beauty of nature to the beauty of, you know, the love of his wife. Great comparison. Just a beautiful love song. And I love the string arrangements. Always love when they bring in the orchestra. Definitely puts out the emotions of the love song in it. So yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Hmm. We got Mike in the chat. I Spied Two Legends.
Oh really?
That's what he said. So, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Hmm.
10 Years Gone. Physical Graffiti.
Yeah, I think so. But I think the album's 75 though. It might be the single. I'm not 100% sure.
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't have that on my list.
But my number 3, I'm going to go with the Air That Breathe by the Hollies
Oh, that's a good song. Oh my gosh.
from the 1974
Oh, yeah,
self-titled album.
great song.
Yeah, it's one of their best songs. I loved hearing them singing in concert last year. last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just an excellent song. It's got a really catchy melodic chorus. I love the build up to that part as well.
Yeah.
That's my number 3.
That's such a good song. I didn't have it on my list, but that's so good.
Yeah.
Should have had that on my list. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Holly songs. Number 2, I went with Carpet Crawlers from Genesis. This comes from their Lambs Lies Down on Broadway album. And this is my favorite Genesis song. If anybody watched my deep dive on Genesis, I did my top 10 with Nick. Nick was on there. Me and Nick did our top 10 Genesis songs. And yeah, Carpet Crawlers came out number 1 for me, which so many good Genesis songs, but I couldn't get over this one. And this is the only Peter Gabriel song I had on my list. All the other 9 songs were Phil Collins songs, because I'm not really a big fan of the Peter Gabriel period of Genesis. I definitely think the Lamb Lies Down Broadway is the best album of the Peter Gabriel Genesis. The first 6, I think it's their 6th album or something like that. It's the last album Peter Gabriel's on before he leaves and Phil Collins takes over. And Peter Gabriel, great singer and all that. It's just the early Genesis is just very prog rock, and I'm not into the old prog rock thing. But I can't get over this song, Carpet Crawlers. It's such a cool song. I just love the build. It starts off very just Peter Gabriel's very low singing, very soft, and he sings that first verse, and then he gets to that chorus, and it's one of the best choruses I think I've ever heard. I love the carpet crawlers singing holler or something like that. Gotta get in to get out. Like his vocals are just amazing, and then all the instruments kick in on the second verse, and it gets a little bit louder, and then we get to that second chorus. Everybody else is singing along, so you get the whole band singing the chorus. I love it. Love when the whole band sings together. It sounds amazing. And Peter Gabriel himself he starts belting it out. He goes from soft to very loud singing, really hitting some really good notes. And the buildup is just so good. It's just, to me, like a perfect song as far as the buildup from soft to loud to the, all that. And just the chorus is so catchy. After you hear the song, you just can't stop singing it, in my opinion. So yeah, it's number 2.
I'm annoyed that didn't quite make the top 5.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. It's like that with you, with the air that I breathe. I forgot about this one.
I said, do you know that album?
Well, I've only heard that one song from it. I think because I've heard you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got to listen to that album at some point before the year's over. I'll definitely get to it at some point.
Yeah, it's a double album. It's kind of long. It's a weird concept album, but
I'll definitely give it a listen at some point. But my number 2 is the song "Late for the Sky" by Jackson Browne from the "Late for the Sky" album. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful song. It's over 5 minutes, so it's not the shortest song, but I don't think it's too long though. It flies by when I hear the song. I love the lyrics and the instrumentation. The vocals, I think, is some of the best vocals he's done. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant song.
Cool. I wonder if we're gonna hear you talk about that album then.
Possibly, yeah.
I know you like Jackson Browne, so.
Mm-hmm. So
right.
we'll go through honorable mentions.
Honorable mention. Yes, honorable mentions. I had "Out of My Head" by ELO, off of their El Dorado album. "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me" from Elton John from his Caribou album. "Matthew" from Back Home Again was on honorable mentions. "Old 55" from the Eagles from the On the Border album. And "Ricky, Don't Lose That Number" from Pretzel Logic from Steely Dan.
Cool. And
do you want to do your honorable mention? Or?
Yeah, I've got a couple of honorable mentions. They're both by Gene Clark. They're from the No Other album. That's "From a Silver File" and "Some Misunderstanding." there are two favorite songs from the album. You can hear my dog barking now.
Yeah. Somebody at the door.
I think you're going to have to continue without me for a second.
All right. I guess we get to my number one favorite song. And it is also from the Eagles. And it is one of my favorite Eagles songs of all time, top 5 probably. And that is The Best of My Love. The Best of My Love. Oh, man. This is like, again, I love the Eagles for their harmonies. I love a lot of bands for their harmonies, and the Eagles is one of my favorite because their harmonies are so good. And this is probably the best song when it comes to harmonies for the Eagles. And again, it's a really great love song, of course, you can tell from the title. And it's just a beautiful song. And I just love that when it goes, oh, 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 sweet darling, I give the best of my love. Oh, oh. When they hit that note, it is so good. It's one of the best notes ever, I think, in music. When they all hit the high note there and harmonize on that chorus, it's just so beautiful. Like, it's a song. Again, I can just listen over and over again. Just love the harmonies, and that's why I love the Eagles. That's why it's got to be number one.
There we go. I struggled to press the mute button for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, she stopped barking now. So I'll get to review my favourite song from 1974. It's my favourite song by this band. It's by the band America. And it's from the Holiday album. It's the song Lonely People.
Oh, okay. It's a good song.
Yeah, I think it's a really great, really fantastic song.
Yeah.
I love the chorus, especially, and the vocals and the harmonies. I also love the piano playing and the harmonica. Yeah, I think everything about the song is brilliant. It's not a very long song either. It's one of those sort of songs that after listening to it, I just want to listen to it again right after. And it's very chilled out song as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one. It's like, to all the lonely people or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that song. It's a good song. I forgot America did it too. America has a lot of hit songs I forget about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to guess what your favorite song of 74 is, but I can't figure it out.
My favorite song?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it, didn't you? When I Best of My Love.
Oh, that was your number one.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was your number two.
No.
So I can guess your number one then. Right, I guess we'll go straight on to albums then. For some reason, I thought you had to mention your number one.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, we'll go
We
straight to number 5 for that.
We had 5 different songs, didn't we?
Yeah. I wonder if it's the same for albums, but I think there's going to be a couple that we're both going to have in there.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Want me to go to number 5 album?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Number 5, I put Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan in the 5th spot. This is probably my second favorite Steely Dan album behind Can't Buy Thrills. Definitely my favorite by far. And I'm not like the biggest Steely Dan fan. I don't like a lot of their. I don't like their later jazz fusion albums like Aja and World Scam. Like, people love those albums. I can't stand them. They're just too jazzy. So Pretzel Logic, I think, is like the 3rd album, and it hasn't really gone full jazz fusion yet. So kind of like the first album, it's got it's good guitar playing, good instrumentation overall. They're really good with that, and they still feel kind of like a band because it seems like I think soon after this album, they kind of just go with session musicians, and they kind of just do studio, and they don't tour anymore, and they just go in the studio and just do everything in the studio. So, but it still has some nice catchy songs on here. Like I mentioned, Ricky Don't Lose That Number, say is my favorite song on here, and that's kind of, I'd say, I don't know if it's a big hit, but it's the most well-known song off the album. Super catchy. The Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Really good song there. I also really like Any Major Dude Will Tell You is another really great song, I think, from Steely Dan. So I think that's two really great songs off the album. Night by Night is a really good rock song. It's one of the more rocking songs. Really good guitar playing on that one. Also really like Barrytown and Charlie Freak on here is also really good. So I wouldn't say it's like a great album, but it's a good album. It's still a solid album, I think, after Steely Dan. And so it makes it number 5.
I think my favorite song from that album is Barrytown.
Okay, that's a good song.
Yeah. But that didn't quite make it into a top 5, but
okay,
we definitely been a top 10 albums of this year. But my number 5 is Back Home Again from John Denver.
Okay, good.
Yep. Which he opened up with the title track, which is excellent. You got the song On the Road, which was originally written by Carl Franzen. Then you got Grandma's Featherbed, which is written by John Connor. Then you got the song Matthew, which is my favourite song on the album, of course. And then you got the song that John Summers wrote, and that's Thank God, the Country Boy. And then the first side ends with The Music Is You, which is only a minute and a half, but I still really like the song.
Yeah.
And then side 2, you open up with Annie's song. Top 5, another top 5, John Denver song there. Then you got It's Up to You, written by Steve Wellsberg, which I think is really good. Cool and Green and Shady by John Denver wrote it along with Joe Henry. And then you got the song Eclipse, Sweet Surrender, which is that longest song on the album. It's 5.5 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's his longest song he's done, but
Yeah.
it must be one of them. And then the album ends with this old guitar.
Yep.
Another top 10, top 5 John Denver song. So you got 3 really incredible songs on this album. I think the whole album, it's really great.
I agree. Great album. Glad you had. I thought that was the one you probably would have in your list, so that's good to see. Number 4, I'm going with Late in the Sky by Jackson Browne. And I just heard this album yesterday, so I'm kind of new to the album, but
Yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, I was making up my list, and I had some albums, but then there's some albums I hadn't listened to that I wanted to listen to see if it makes my list, and that was one of them. Because I saw Jackson Browne came out with an album, and I like Jackson Browne, so I was like, I should listen to this album, see if it makes my list, and yeah, it did. Made it number 4 here just on a first-time listen. So it's like, it's one of those things where I need to listen to more, so maybe it'll be even higher on my list. But again, I really like Jackson Browne, though. He's great at the melodies and the singing, a good singer-songwriter. I need to listen to the album more, but I think my favorite song was probably Fountain of Sorrow. I thought was really good on here. But I did like Late for the Sky. I have on here as one of my favorite on here. Farther On, I thought was pretty good. The Late Show, For a Dancer, and Before the Deluge were the ones I wrote down as some songs I really enjoyed on the album. But yeah, definitely an album I need to listen to more. But on first time listen, I still thought, wow, there's some good stuff here. I really like. No big hit songs that I can tell, but that I've ever heard before. But and this isn't. I don't know that this is a big album for Jackson Browne. I know Running on Empty is like his big one, and maybe his debut. But still, I need to listen to Jackson Browne more because I really enjoying what I'm hearing.
Glad that made it your top 5. But my number 4 is by another singer-songwriter, and that's Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh, okay, Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah. So I'm going through the track list. So the first track is Somewhere USA, which I think is a really good album opener. They got High and Dry, another really good song. 7 Island Suite, which is a 6-minute 6 minute epic song. Then you got the Circle of Steel. Is there anyone home? But to me, I like side 2 even more. You've got the Watchman's Gone, Sundown, the title track, which is one of my favorite songs of his.
Mhm.
Carefree Highway, another one of my favorite songs of his. And then you got the song The List, and then it ends with Too Late for Praying. Yeah, I think every song was fantastic. Yeah, it's probably my favorite album of his. It's either this or If You Could Read My Mind.
I didn't listen to that album. Oh, I need to listen to that.
Yeah, I recommend that one of his.
I like Sundown is a good song. Yeah, it's one of the best ones I've heard so far. I haven't heard a lot of Gordon Lightfoot though. That's another artist I need to listen to more. I haven't really heard. I've only heard like one album, his debut album, and I need to listen to more. But yeah. All right, number 3. Again, this is an album I just listened to yesterday, and it made it on my list. But I love this artist, so I kind of knew this could make my list, and that's Caribou by Elton John.
It's a good album.
I'm a big Elton John fan, and I've listened to all his albums up to Caribou. So Caribou was like the next album I need to listen to, anyways, because we're going through Elton John's albums on. Me, Nick, and Jacob Martin are going through his albums. I think we're going to do Goodbye Yellow Brick Road next. Is the next one we're going to tackle.
You can do all the 80s and 90s albums of his, or just the 70s.
We're going to go through all of them, but I heard the 80s and 90s aren't very good.
I've not heard many songs for those decades of his.
Yeah, so I'm curious what's going to sound like, because all his big hits are probably in the 70s, I would say. I know this album, Caribou, is considered a good album. Then Rock of the Rusties is considered a good album. I haven't heard that one yet, but yeah. So Caribou is an album I need to listen to anyway. So I listened to it yesterday, of course, for this list, and it made it here at number 3 just because I really like Elton John, and I really enjoy it. But all his, the only album I haven't liked is Tumbleweed Connection. Is the only album I thought was kind of boring, but all his other albums I've heard so far I've really liked. But anyways, but his big song on here, my favorite song on the album, is Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Of course, I mentioned it's an honorable mention. Great song. That chorus is so good. So definitely a big one here. I really like Pinky. Pinky is like a song I never heard of.
Yeah,
and I
wasn't
really
underrated jam, that one.
I was like, I've never heard this song or anybody talk about the song. Pinky, really good song. I really enjoyed that. Grimsby was good. Ticking, I thought was good. Pinball Wizard. It was cool to see Pinball Wizard on here. Of course, it's one of my favorite Who songs, the top 5 Who song for me off of the Tommy album. And I'm guessing because Tommy came out as a movie probably around this time, and Elton John was in the movie and he sang the song in the movie Pinball Wizard. So I'm guessing that's why it's on the album. It's because he sang it in the movie. And it's a fine. It's not as good as the Who version, but it's a fine version of the song. I like that song anyways. But Six City is good, and also we got Step Into Christmas is what I got, and a good Christmas song. So, and we're in the Christmas season, so good song to listen to now. But yeah, overall I thought it was a solid. Again, I need to listen to this album probably some more because I only listened to it once, but still I liked what I heard. So it's number 3, Caribou.
Good choice, yeah. I'm actually looking. So I don't remember Step Into Christmas or Pinball Wizard being on the album. I think there might be bonus tracks.
It might be. That's the problem. Is I listened to it on Spotify, and I never know
bonus tracks.
Are they okay? I never know what's a bonus track. Sometimes on Spotify, I just
yeah, it's a bit confusing.
It is, yeah.
But my number 3 is the debut album. It's a self-titled album from this band. That's Bad Company.
Oh, okay. Bad Company.
Yeah, it's got 8 tracks in total. It's only 34 minutes, so it's not a very long album. But the first track is Can't Get Enough, which is one of my favorite songs from the album. This is the only album I've heard of theirs. They got the song Rocksteady, Ready for Love, which I think's quite underrated. Don't Let Me Down. And then side 2, you've got, which I think think I like side 2 even more. You got a title track, Bad Company. It's just quite cool that the band actually did a song named after them. Or I guess they named themselves after the song. I'm not sure what came first, the song or the band name.
Yeah, I know.
Then you got The Way I Choose, Moving On, and Seagull, which is my favourite song on the album. It's the album closer. So yeah, that's my number 3. I recommend that album if you've not heard it.
I haven't heard that one. I didn't realize that came out. Okay. I've heard of Bad Company, but I haven't heard their albums. But
I listened to it for the first time on the 50th anniversary for the album.
okay. Steve? Huh?
Yeah, if people watching haven't heard any of these albums, you can feel free to listen to them and let us know your thoughts on them.
Mm.
But yeah, second favorite album of this year.
Yeah, man. Definitely. So yeah, top 2 are definitely my top 2. Like when I was making this list out, I was like, these 2 albums are definitely my top 2 albums. Then 3 through 5 was kind of hard to come up with because they're just albums I was like not in love with, but were good. But these 2 albums both made my top 100 favorite albums list that I already talked about. They're kind of low on my 100 favorite albums list, but they're still both in there. So the 2 albums I really love. And I went back and forth, and I decided number 2 to go with On the Border by Eagles. It's my 3rd favorite Eagles album. It's one of their best albums, in my opinion. I already mentioned like 2 of the songs are in my top 5 songs. Best of My Love, my favorite song of 1974, is on here. And again, probably top 5 favorite Eagles song. It's so good. And then Already Gone, again, the top 10 like Eagles song that's in my top 5 of this year. Those are the 2 big hits on the album. 2, like I said, absolutely amazing Eagles songs. If you're an Eagles fan, those are great. Old 55 is so good as well. I don't know if that was a hit song, but man, that is a good song. Again, the harmonies are just so amazing. Of course, like I said, Eagles, the harmonies, the melodies are just so good on this album. My Man, I thought was really good, and Is It True, or some other songs I thought were really good on the album. Yeah, it could be number 1, but I just decided to go with number 2 on this one.
Well, my number 2, you had it as your number 4. That's Jackson Brown's Late for the Sky.
All right.
The quarter open, the title track, Fountain of Sorrow. Another one of the better songs. Another one of the better songs on the album. But Father On's really good. The Late Show's really good. I mean, all these songs are really good. Side 2, you got The Road in the Sky, For a Dancer, Walking Stone, Before the Deluge. But I'm going to leave it there because I've already spoken about this album. I reviewed it with Rich a few months ago.
Yeah.
But it's my second favorite album of his.
Okay.
After his debut album.
Okay. So this is one of his best albums?
Yeah. Okay. I like it even more than Running on Empty.
I was going to say, yeah, I like more Running on Empty. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go through honorable mentions.
Yeah, so I had 3 honorable mentions I kind of considered to be on this list. One was Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. As I mentioned, it's actually my 4th favorite Genesis album at the moment. Though I really haven't listened to the album too much, but like I said, Carpet Crawlers is so good, and it's an interesting album overall. Then I got El Dorado from ELO. Another album I haven't listened to a whole lot, but like I said, Out of My Mind is, I believe it was, just definitely my favorite song on there, or Out of My Head.
Yeah, you can't get out of my head. That one.
Out of My Head. Oh, it's such a good song. One of my favorite ELO songs. And it's overall just a solid ELO album. It's before some of my favorite albums, but it's like right in that era. And then I had Goodnight Vienna by Ringo Starr, which it's I haven't heard all of Ringo's albums, but this is my second favorite so far. My favorite being the Ringo, I believe it's a self-titled album, Ringo. Uh, but this is a solid Ringo album. It's got a lot of fun songs, which I like about. I like Ringo when he just does these fun songs, like I think Snookeroo. I'm forgetting what's all on here, but I just know it's like there's some decent stuff on here.
It's a fun album.
Yeah, it's a solid album for Ringo, as far as I consider. And again, I need to listen to more Ringo albums, but I think this is a good one to listen to if you want to get into Ringo. But those are my 3 honorable mentions.
I've got 2, and I've gone with Supertramp's "Crime of the Century."
Yeah.
And I've gone with "Holiday" by America.
Okay.
So now will be our favorite album from 1974.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can probably guess my number 1 from what I've talked about. It was your number 5, and that is "Back Home Again." I went with that one from John Denver. Big John Denver fan. I think I had. I don't know if it was last year. I had "Home Prayers and Promises," I think, in number 2 or something like that. But man, this is, like I said, my 3rd favorite John Denver album. It made my top 100 favorite albums list, and it's so close between this and "On the Border." Both are pretty close. But I had to go with this because I had 3 of my favorite John Denver songs on it, with "This Old Guitar," "Annie's Song," "This Old Guitar," and "Matthew" are just absolute main songs. And then "Back Home Again" is also a really good song. The title song of the album is kind of a big hit for him. But yeah, it's definitely more of a country album for him compared to Rocky Mountain High and "Poems, Prayers, and Promises." I feel like this goes a little more country because he's a bit of a country folk type singer, and people would probably categorize him as, because this does have probably his most country song on it, like "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" and "Grandma's Feather Bed" are definitely very country, and those are my least favorite songs on the album because they're like too country for me. I'm like, I'm not into the country part, but yeah, I also like "The Music Is You." I thought was really good. "Cool and Green and Shady," "Eclipse," and "Sweet Surrender." Yeah, really great song as well. So yeah, I had to go with it because it just had too many really great songs on it that I was like, yeah, this got to be number 1.
Yeah. Well, my number 1, and we reviewed it on your channel. That's Gene Clark's "No Other."
Okay, yeah, that's a decent album.
Yeah, I've heard it 3 times in total. And I think every time I listen to it, I love it just as much, if not more, every time. But you start off with this song, "Life's Greatest Fool," which I think is fantastic. Album opener. "Silver Ravens" is a fantastic one. "No Other," the title track. I think it's really great, although it probably is my least favourite song on the album. But you got "Strength of Strings." And side 2, you got "From a Silver File," which is my favourite song on the album. Followed by my second favourite song on the album, "Some Misunderstanding," which is also the longest song. It's over 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
And then you got "The True One" and "Lady of the North" to round it up. And so there's only 8 tracks in this album.
Yeah.
It's over 40 minutes. But yes, I think it's an excellent album. That's my favourite album of 74.
Oh wow. Okay. Gene Clark.
It's somewhere in my top 50 albums. I'll find out exactly where it is. Oh, somewhere. It's in the lower end, but still in the top 50. I'm actually tired now. I didn't remember it being. I think I changed where it was lately. It's my 28th favorite album.
Oh really? Okay.
So it's only my top 25 that are a 10. So it just missed out on being a 10 out of 10 album.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because we did that on our album exchange. Yeah.
I think it was Briar that chose that one.
Yeah, it was Briar that chose it.
But I thought I heard it twice up to that point anyway.
Okay.
So just listen to it a third time. Ready for it? But yeah, I enjoyed doing this and look forward to 75 soon.
Yeah.
Got people watching again. Let us know your thoughts on this year of music and favorite songs and albums from this year. Please listen to some of the songs and albums we mentioned. We got none here. That's true.
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
My parents were married in 75, getting close to my parents' 50th anniversary, and 50th, for all these albums in 75. So,
but it's probably the last time we both collaborate together for this year.
Yeah, because there'll be holidays pretty soon.
I think this was a good one to conclude it with.
Yeah.
But do you have any final words before we go ahead and close this?
Yeah, well, it's been great. This is the third time we've kind of done this. We did 72, 73, 74. Yeah, I mean, great years for music for the most part. 74 was kind of a weak year. Still some good stuff. My top two, I think, are really good. But yeah, I think 75 is going to be really good. I think, is that the year of Rumors and like Hotel California came out?
I think that was 76, 77. But you have Fleetwood Mac self-titled though.
Oh, good song. I mean, it's a good album. Okay, so you got that out. I'm trying to think what comes out next year, but yeah, it's been great. I always enjoy doing these end of the year lists, anyways, and yeah, I look forward to another one.
Yeah. Thanks everyone watching. Thanks for joining on this live stream, Jason. I hope the Chiefs win.
They're winning, so
I hope it stays that way. Until next time, everyone. Peace out, peace and love, and ciao. Goodbye.